What message do you have for young people listening who feel unseen, unheard, or unsure of their future?
All I can say is choose hope over despair. And people always ask me about, Team Hope, and why do you always use the phrase hope? And, why? Because I think we have to have hope. And I think we have to speak energy into people. Your circle is going to determine how strong you are probably as a man or a woman. Because if you're around people who are always negative, you're probably going to be a negative type person. Like on social media, certain people, I go, oh man, delete. I can't take the negativity. But if you're around somebody who's like, yo man, you are the bomb. This studio is, we getting ready to take this to LA, bro. When you got that type of energy, it's a different type of brother, and there's no jealousy in your circle. There's nobody with envy. There's somebody who just wants you to be that much better. And I've been blessed in life to have some great friends. Like my friends, Pastor Laster is my friend. Outside of being we did it since we've been young and high school.
Now, trust me, I asked him even before.
Oh my God!
Before I sent the questions, I sent it to him, and I was like, I know this is one of your closest friends. Is there anything that I should ask differently? And he was like, no, bro, you nailed it.
He knows I'm going to be pretty authentic.
Yes.
When I'm in a situation, it's a blessing that I could call my pastor for personal stuff.
Yes.
Because everybody can't talk to their pastor, which is the worst thing you could say is like, yo, I'm embarrassed. This happened. I know I could go Pastor Laster and listen, this is what's going on. All right, I know you can't solve this situation, but I need to vent and let this out. And it's part of mental health now. Our young folks, and particularly men of color, do not have that outlet to talk to somebody, and that's why you have the high rates of suicide, you have the depression, you have people going in there, and then if you're around that mentality, that's what you become. So the one thing I'm very, very protective, and particularly my kids, and when Vic was coming up and stuff like that, me and his mom have a good relationship, bruh, they ain't a good crew to be around, or here. And now to see how he's become this businessman and all this, people know the story. Vic filled out of UMass twice.
Right.
And I remember he used to hang out in my office at Recreation. Jimmy Salmon's his godfather. So Vic, you ain't hanging around here forever. You going back to school. And he's sitting around in that conversation, bro, you need to go back to school. You need to get your life together. This guy's a multi-millionaire. You know what I'm saying? The kid Al-Qadim Muhammad, who plays for Detroit, bought me out last year to do a game. I'm like, my son's him and Justin are really good friends. I'm like, I'm tired. It's a Thursday. I went there and I'm saying this is a kid from the South Ward of Newark. Brutal living situations. And now he's this guy that so polished, so groomed, it's that's the blessing of it, that here. But I will tell young folks, be careful who you spend your time with. Be careful.